Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now NHL, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories on the ice. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We've got our Locked On NHL host here to recap everything from the playoffs on Monday. We begin with the defending champs finishing off the sweep in our biggest game.
The biggest game.
The Lightning made quick work of the Panthers, closing out their series with a 2-1 win at home on Monday. Locked On Lightning recaps the finish and a Tampa team that's firing on all cylinders at the perfect time.
Well, if you were expecting the Tampa Bay Lightning to sweep the reigning President's Trophy winners and told me about it, I would have called you silly. But we are sitting here on May 23rd, winners in 4 straight games against the Florida Panthers. Tampa Bay Lightning sweep in successful fashion, a 2-0 win at home at Amalie. Right after the game, after the first 2 goals of the game were taken back because of penalties that were missed due to review. And Andrei Vasilevskiy leads the way with a 49 save shutout. That's his 6th career playoff shutout, as well as the Tampa Bay Lightning become only the 3rd team ever to win 10 or more consecutive playoff series. Tampa Bay Lightning look like they have no chance of slowing down anytime soon, and they will await the winner of the Carolina Hurricane New York Rangers series as to see who they will face in the Eastern Conference Final.
The Florida Panthers made history during the regular season. They were dominant, but they ran out of gas come playoff time. Locked On Panthers breaks down Florida's final game of this season.
The best regular season for the Florida Panthers in their franchise's history is unable to produce in the postseason. What is up, guys? This is Armando Velez from the Locked On Florida Panthers podcast, and the Florida Panthers lose by a final score of 2-0 in Game 4 at Amalie Arena, and they have been swept by their cross-state rivals, Tampa Bay Lightning. And this was a series that was really over after Game 2, after playing an almost 60-minute game, and then the heartbreak that was in Game 2. And it carried over to Game 3, where the Florida Panthers continues to struggle on the power play. The Tampa Bay Lightning were just getting in any passing lane, shooting lane, not making it difficult on Andrei Vasilevskiy. And the few opportunities that the Florida Panthers did have on Vasilevskiy, he was able to finish the job and not allow anything get past him. And it proved with a 49 of 49 performance for Vasilevskiy tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So once again, they haven't found out a way to figure him out in the postseason. Not many teams have. That's why they're the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. So it's back to the drawing board for the Cats. They have an offseason to talk about with not much high draft capital and very cap space to try to run it back next season. So those are a lot of questions that the Florida Panthers do have ahead of them going into the offseason. So to listen to my recap of this 2-0 loss against the Tampa Bay Lightning and getting swept out of the second round, join me and David Lassiter of PantherParkway.com as we discuss this loss and we discuss the season for the Florida Panthers.
A Nazem Kadri hat trick led the Avs to a 6-3 win over the St. Louis Blues last night. Locked On Avalanche talks about the win and now a decisive 3-1 series lead for Colorado.
All right, Kyle, this is what makes sports so good, because you have a storyline like we have right now with Nazem Kadri. We all know what happened in Game 3, the injury with the collision with Binnington, who he's out for the remainder of the season. And then what followed in St. Louis was pretty despicable, and all of the hate talk thrown at Nazem Kadri and racist talk thrown at Nazem Kadri. And what does he do? At least on the ice. Off the ice, that's a much bigger problem. But on the ice, his response was, I'm just going to get a hat trick and 4 points and put my team up 3-1 in the series. And that's where the Avalanche stand right now as they go back to Denver to potentially end this thing and get out of the second round, which has eluded them the past number of seasons.
He hit somewhere it hurts by scoring a hat trick and not falling to David Perron and his goonery. Everybody wants to say Kadri is a dirty player. he didn't give into it. He heard him on the scoreboard, and he's sending the Avalanche back to Ball Arena with a 3-1 lead.
Very undisciplined St. Louis Blues team, but you didn't get it until the second period. In the first period, when they were leading, they did attempt to go after Kadri in the beginning with Braden Shen. Kadri wanted no part of it. And then what happened? The Avs reeled off 4 goals in under 5 minutes to start the second period. And then that's when the Blues decided we're going to go after Kadri. It got them a 5-on-3 power play. They didn't score on it, but they scored seconds after it was over. So essentially a power play goal from a 5-on-3. And that doomed the Blues. And the Avs go on to the 6-3 victory. And like we said, they can wrap this thing up in Denver. It's all setting up nicely for the Avalanche right now. And we have to congratulate Nazem Kadri for dealing with what he dealt with off the ice and putting his money where his mouth is on the ice for the Colorado Avalanche.
That's all for today on Locked On Now NHL. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out your team's Locked On podcast and, of course, Locked On NHL, especially right now during the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm Kanani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now.